So what we're going to talk about today is the publication metrics for your CV. So what we're going to talk about is H-index, um, journal impact factors, what they are, how do you find them, and where do you put them on your CV? Okay, so let's just dive right into it. An H-index, it is an index to quantify an individual scientific research output. So the H-index is an individual measure. This is a way to measure the scientific productivity and the impact of a scientist on the field. It was created in 2005 by a physicist, J.E. Hirsch, and that link will take you to the his article. It was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. Your H index can change often, so check it at least annually. I would kind of recommend check it every time you have something published, but annually at least. So the H index actually is not a difficult calculation if you wanted to do it on your own. You want to calculate the you want to list your publications in order of decreasing citation count, and then find the highest number where H, which is where at least H publications have cited you H times. So it's basically trying to find right in the middle. If you have 10 publications, the top 5 of those have 5 or more citations each, then your H index is 5. Okay. So basically, a greater H index indicates a greater research impact. What is a good H index? Well, I can't really tell you. Uh, it depends on the field. In the article by Hirsch, he goes into what he believes a good H index would be. He was a physicist and he judged this based on Nobel laureate level physicists. So unless you are a very prominent physicist, you really can't use his numbers. So it really depends on each field. And how do you find it? Well, you can look it up in a few different places. You can look it up in Web of Science or Scopus, both of which are available through the libraries. Or you can create a profile and a bibliography in Google Scholar or ResearchGate. The One of the reasons why we recommend several different places to find your H index is because the H index that are reported through Web of Science and Scopus only include your publications that they index. So if you publish something in a journal that Web of Science or Scopus does not index, then it won't be used in your calculations. So it's not unusual to have several different H indexes. For Google Scholar and ResearchGate, you create your profile and you create your own bibliography. So, it might take a little while for it to calculate your H index, but it will, and you control which publications get in there. But you do need to create an account for those. The other metric that we're using in CVs now are journal impact factors, and these are an attempt to calculate a journal's importance or influence. It's the most widely cited tool, the journal impact factor, to characterize journals. It's over 50 years old. It actually started off as an individual rank, but now they use it for journals. Impact factors change annually. They're updated in the summer, so make sure you check them when you publish a new article. Okay. Uh, Not all journals will have impact factors. In order to get one, the database needs to index the journal for at least 2 years. The the theory is that a higher impact journal impact factor suggests that the articles published in that journal are more frequently cited by other researchers, implying that there's greater visibility and relevance in the field. So basically, if you get an article published in a journal that has a higher impact factor, your article will have more visibility and more influence. Right? It's not always accurately reflecting um, the actual importance of the journal, mainly because it can vary significantly between disciplines. When I start showing y'all how to actually figure these, I'm going to show you how that works. Okay. So what's a good journal impact factor? Well, as I said, it depends on the field. Uh, it just varies between disciplines. Overall, a very high impact factor is very rare. Most impact factors are below 2. Now, some of them are significantly higher than 2, but there are just very few of them. In fact, less than 1% of all of the journals that are cited in Journal Citation Report have an impact factor of 20 or above. So it's very rare that you'll get one any higher than a 2 or 3. For example, the 2023 journal impact factors are the most recent, and JAMA ranked 5th out of the 329 journals in the category. Its impact factor was 63.5. Whereas Lancet was 6th and its impact factor was 23.8. So there's a big jump between 5th and 6th. Whereas in nursing, the journal with the highest impact factor in JCR's classifications was the International Journal of Nursing Studies, and its journal impact factor was a 7. So as you can see, it doesn't necessarily mean that one journal is higher quality. It's just one is cited more often than another. Let's see, for librarians, just in case you're curious, in the library and information science category, the highest impact factor is the International Journal of Information Management. The journal impact factor for that is a 20.1. The number 2 is Journal of Strategic Information Systems, and that is an 8.7. So again, it's a big difference between 1 and 2. JMLA is 38th with a journal impact factor of 2.9. But I think we can all say that, being health sciences librarians, a chance to get something published in JMLA is, it would have more impact in the health sciences librarianship versus if we had something published in the International Journal of Information Management. So it's not really necessarily a rank of how influential something is. So how do you find a journal impact factor? Well, you go to Journal Citation Reports. That is it's provided through the library. And as I said before, not all journals have impact factors. The journal must be in JCR for 4 years. It must be indexed for at least 2. If you can't find a journal impact factor, you can use the site score, which is found in Scopus. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do a bit of a demo here. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I'm going to. Okay. So, are you all seeing the library homepage? Yes, awesome. Great. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is we're going to go down into databases and um, let's see. 1 second. This is not what I wanted to do. Sorry about that, y'all. Um, let's just end it and there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is first start with h-index, and I am going to first use Scopus and show you how to find it with Scopus. So if we click on S and go down to Scopus, if you haven't logged in, it's going to ask you to log in right there, but I went ahead and logged in so we would be able to just go straight into it. Okay, so click on the tab that says authors and put in the author's last name. I'm going to use Dr. Nelson here because, yeah, I figure he's pretty well known and this shouldn't be an invasion of privacy or anything. So I put in his name, Steve Nelson, and we get 44 author results. This top one is LSU Health Sciences Center School of Medicine. So I'm going to go ahead and click on his name. All right. So it shows here that he has 257 publications. Up here under his name is the h-index. His h-index is 62 through Scopus. Now, there were other Steve Nelsons, obviously. That's kind of a common name. So if some of these are actually him as opposed to a different Steve Nelson, it's not pulling in those publications. So you need to claim your profile in Scopus and that way you can get all of your articles in your h-index there. Okay. So similar to that, we're going to go ahead and go into Web of Science. That is another way you can find your h-index. So I'm going to click on Web of Science. And once again, we will use Dr. Nelson as our example. Click on the Researchers tab. Here we go. Name search. Nelson. Spell it right, Julie. There we go. Okay. Okay. So now when we scroll down, we've got 10 results from Web of Science. So there are 10 different researchers listed in Web of Science. This top one is Stephen M. And if you see this check, it means it is a claimed profile. And so that is actually not our Dr. Nelson. This second one would be. Actually, if you've noticed, we've got other ones too that probably are him. It's just that he's listed. These are Steve A. This is Steve. And down here towards the bottom, this possibly could be him also. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the name here for this one. And if you scroll down a little bit further, you can see the H index here is a 19. This is 97 publication, excuse me, 79 publications. So it's not as many publications as what came up when we did this in Scopus. That is because he's probably listed in the database under different names. Some have middle initials, some don't. If you claim your profile, again, I'm going to stress this. Claim your record, and you can determine which ones are your publications and which ones aren't. So as you can see, this is an H index of a 19, whereas Scopus was a 62. It's a big difference. So the last way to get an H index is Google Scholar. I'm going to go ahead and go through the library to get to Google Scholar. If you have a profile or you want to make a profile, go ahead and click on that. It walks you through it. It's really easy to make your profile. If you're just going to look up someone's metrics, you can do an advanced search, and you want return articles authored by, and I'm going to say Steve Nelson and click on there. And we've got a user profile here of Steve Nelson, LSU Health Sciences Center. So if we click on the name, it is going to bring us to the profile page. This H index is a 74, a total H index. Since 2020, it's a 24. So this might have more articles in it. It also might be measuring other people's articles. You need, again, to go ahead and make a profile and build your bibliography so that you get an accurate H index. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you was the journal impact factor. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the library homepage, click on J and go to journal citation reports. Now for this one, this is going to show you how influential a journal is. So as soon as it comes up, here we go. You have a choice of several different ways you can search journal citation reports. You can put in a journal name. Just right there. You can also search by name in journals, or you can do categories. Categories is good if you're looking for a place to publish. So you can say, I want all the I want to know what the journals with the highest impact factor in education or in medicine, and you can find it in the categories, and it'll give you a list. I'm going to go ahead and put in the Journal of the American Medical Association. And if you scroll down a little bit, journal impact factor, it says right down here under journal performance, the journal impact factor is a 63.5. It also gives you the journal impact factor if it eliminates all the articles that cite other articles in JAMA. Because people figured out that if they cited their own journal over and over again, they would get a higher impact factor. So they do offer this without self-citations, but that is your journal impact factor for JAMA. I'm going to go ahead and go back, and let's say if we did Journal of the American Dental. Journal of the American Dental Association. So it's one of the most popular dental journals, obviously, and its impact factor is a 3.1. So it's not it doesn't it's like comparing apples to oranges in some ways as to which journals get cited more. It really depends on the discipline. Okay, so sorry. Let's go back here to our demo. Okay, so now we're back in the presentation in the slide deck. I put in these slides that show where to click for the H-index and the journal impact factors. So you can find this information if you want it somewhere else. No, well, if you want it later, excuse me. That's what I wanted to say, if you want to find it later. Hey, some helpful hints. Again, claim your profiles. Claim your profiles in Web of Science and Scopus. Create a profile on Google Scholar. That's the best way to get a good, a good comprehensive H-index. Sign up for an ORCID ID. It's really easy. It will allow you, it puts a number into all of your publications so that it's easier to pull them all together. It is very helpful, very easy to use, and a lot of the databases will allow you to log in through ORCID ID. Okay. Again, your H-index can change frequently, so make sure you check it. On your CV, excuse me, didn't mean to do that. On your CV, it will go following your list of your publications. You can list up to 3 H-indexes. Just include the date that you got it and the database. This came from the new faculty handbook, the one that's like in its final stages of editing. The other one that's available publicly doesn't have anything about these metrics in it, but I pulled it from there. I still would recommend you check before you actually turn in your CV for anything, just to make sure that it's where it needs to be. Okay, for your journal impact factors, select the categories to see several impact factors. Not every journal will have one. And also journal impact factors are updated annually. On the CV, according to the faculty handbook, you will put impact factor at the end of the citation, and that's the impact factor for the journal. Okay. These are some references if you would like to learn more, if you want to read the original articles, they're in here. And this is some basic information about these databases. However, if you want to use them, please go through the library. Okay. If you have a second and you want to go ahead and evaluate this class, I would appreciate any feedback that you have. And what are your questions? Sharon asked a question. Do you report the current impact factor or from the date of the publication? It seems to me that you would have the impact factor down on your CV, and if it changed, then newer articles would use the newer one. Is historical data available? A little bit. It goes back 4 or 5 years. But I would imagine for right now, with everyone adding their CVs, really the only thing that we're going to be able to do is put in what is there, what the current one is. I think that's something that needs to be addressed before the faculty handbook is actually rolled out to everybody.